What is going on, everybody? It is Lineman Life Live, and we are back Monday, August 8th. It's Monday. And we are here giving you guys our takes, our perspectives on the daily headlines in the sports world. And this is my co-host, Big Justin Blaylock, JB.
What's happening, good folks? Yes, sir. Let's get it.
Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Let's get into it today. Now, right when we finished up last week, we actually got the breaking news that a certain someone was going to be spending some time locked away in a certain country. For those of y'all who don't know, Brittney Griner was found guilty. Of course, we all knew this was going to happen.
Come out from under a rock.
It was unexpected. The Russians found her guilty of drug smuggling because they found what was an almost empty, from what I reports that I read after the fact, an almost empty cartridge of cannabis oil. It was like literally pretty much empty. They found one in her bag. That's what they found. And 9 years in jail. That is the sentence that they gave her. We're going to take a look at a video here from Inside Edition. Inside Edition. They always got they add a little flavor to their news segments. We're going to watch a quick little segment.
Top flight shit here with the world.
We're going to watch a little segment from Inside Edition. Talking about the sentencing, because I mean, look, we all know it's been a big issue, something that the government's obviously trying to work to swap out the merchant of death for Brittney Griner in a prisoner swap with Russia. That is probably going to take some time because of the hostilities that America and Russia kind of have right now because of the Ukraine war. So in that meantime, they're obviously going to have Brittney Griner in, I don't know what Russian prison is like, but that's where she's going to be.
Probably like Stranger Things. They're like over there fighting mind
players. It's like the Upside Down. Oh, Lord. But she's going to be in prison. Now, I don't know. I mean, you like to think that even in these situations, with there being a bit of a rift, well, let's not say a rift. Let's say with us being bitter enemies.
It's like a dust
Russia.
up. It's just a dust up.
It's like a dust up, with this having this little dust up here.
Sorry, Coach.
How do they treat the individuals? Now, there was a guy who got released. There was a former military guy who got released before this, who said it was like literally like living in hell to be in a Russian prison. But I wonder if they'll have the same kind of like treatment for her, since she's an athlete and it's not necessarily a conflict level situation where, we captured one of your soldiers. They just have an athlete. Would they put them in a different part of the prison where they just kind of have their own little space? Or are they going to be out there fucking turning big rocks into little rocks, baby?
Until your back goes out.
What's going to be happening?
Oh, Lord.
What is going to be happening?
She's going 1-on-5 with, the best 5 hoopers they got.
She's got to win a 1-on-5 basketball match every month to get to earn her food for the next month. Like, that's what she's gonna mean. I mean, she'd win. I mean, I would think she'd win.
Right.
But they might, arrest some other Russian basketball player just to play against her. Put them in jail for 9 years.
Right.
In Russia, better fuck you. All right. So let's take a look at this video here. About 2.5 minutes. And we'll just kind of react to the reaction. There we go.
That's Brittney Griner just moments after a Russian court today sentenced her to 9 years in prison for bringing cannabis oil into that country. As Les Torrent reports, the harsh verdict may now set the stage for a prisoner swap intended to bring Griner and at least one other imprisoned American back home.
There's outrage over Brittney Griner's sentence of 9 years in a Russian penal colony. She's hoping she's not a political prisoner,
Yeah,
but of
she
course
said she's hoping
is.
she's not being used as a political pawn,
Yeah.
but I think we all know that she is.
Yeah. That's the only way you're getting out of this. That's
Right.
literally the only way you're going home.
Yeah.
Unless you want to stay there 9 years. You might only have to stay there a year to get this swap done. But come on now. You know what's happening. I mean, that's the only reason why this is on the news. Period.
Oh, of course. We had to give the
Now
biggest
you're a
sentence
political
possible.
prisoner.
Because, I mean, the bigger sentence, the more value. I mean, I'm not going to get, anyone important if I only give you a year sentence.
Yeah.
They'd be like,
You're not a
"Oh."
priority unless we max you out.
I
And
got
then
this-
your country's going to try and figure out what to do.
I got this Russian jaywalker we can send you for 1
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, so we got this guy who jaywalks and he's from Russia. We gave him 30 years.
Fair trade, right?
Fair trade. All right, let's keep going.
The WNBA star heard her fate inside a cramped cage.
Hold on, though. Just look at that face. Hey, I feel you. I was just sitting there like. So this how it's about to go down. Y'all just about to say, "Fuck it." 9 years, huh? 10 years.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
for real,
how
can
much
you
y'all get?
imagine?
How much y'all give catch y'all fine with meth? How much y'all give them? How much y'all give catch y'all fine with coke? How much y'all get them? Oh, just 6 months. 6 months. 8 months.
That's a fine.
$500 fine. All right, let's go.
In a courtroom outside Moscow.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
The 31-year-old basketball great's plea for mercy fell on deaf ears.
I made an honest mistake, and I hope that in your ruling that it doesn't end my life here.
Her defense team said Brittney
Damn.
expected the worst, and it all came true.
When we saw Brittney, I think it was Tuesday, and we told her, "See you on Thursday," and she said, "See you on Doomsday." So,
God damn.
I mean, she knew what time
so it
it
looks
was.
like she was right.
The
She
harsh
knew what time it
sentencing
was. Like, fuck.
She knew what time it was. I
She
mean, come on,
understood the assignment.
as soon as you seen that these cats that they helping Ukraine in a war, you know what time it is. Whatever
Right,
you thought the
right.
government could do to get you out of this before that happened, that was erased the moment that whole Ukraine war started. Because now it's like, okay, well,
Stop sending aid, and we'll
there-
take 5
you
years
guys
off.
wanna- yeah, like the country you're from is paying and giving weapons to the country that's kicking their ass.
You give us those tanks, and we'll knock off 5 years.
You know what I mean? Like you knew what was going to happen. This was the outcome. This is where the road we were going down once that war started up, because you know that pissed off Russia, and you know there's only one motherfucker who makes decisions in Russia.
Hey,
Sorry.
It's like the NFL. We might have.
Oh,
all
okay.
these-
So you said 6 games, huh? All right, never mind. We're
We
going
might
to
have
appeal, and we're
all
going to
these other
reverse that and make it
positions.
much longer.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, hey, it's only going one place. And look where it
One
brought you.
place.
Right back to me.
Yeah.
Golly, see you on Doomsday. That's so fucking morbid.
That's crazy. Ooh, that
Babe.
sucks, because you're like, I wonder what's going to happen at the end of that day. I'm going to be in prison.
Like when she comes
Shit.
back, like her book is going to be a fucking bestseller.
Oh, she's going to get a book deal immediately. That's all.
Book
First
deals,
thing I'm doing.
speaking
I'm not even
tour.
gonna. If I'm her, I ain't even gonna write the book. If I'm her, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, just I tell you the story. You make it a book.
You sit right
Because
there.
that's gonna be like
We
millions.
go chop it up. We go chop it up for 2 days, 3 days, and I'll cut you in 10%.
And real talk. Now that we sit here talking about it, that would be my biggest motivation. I'd be like, this ain't gonna be shit. Whenever I get out. It is gonna be in a great book. It's gonna be a great book I'm writing after this.
I just hope they let her get like a pen and pad. Man, ain't no telling.
Be out of here by the time I'm 39, 40.
Hey,
Perfect age.
20
Write
years.
a book and retire.
Yeah, 20 years of motivational speaking.
You know what I mean? It'll be easy street from that
Wait.
point on.
Probably make way more money than she ever did playing basketball.
Ever. You just set yourself up for a life that you would have never had as a basketball player. All it's going to take is 9 years of hard labor.
I mean, she might get like a show out of this. You know, take over for Wendy Williams or
She
something
might
like
get
that.
a fucking movie because of the war. There might be a movie.
Boy, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, real talk. Her life might be better than she could have ever imagined when she gets out of this. Ever imagined.
I mean, she got a hell of a road to go to.
Yeah, you got to pay a hell of a price. That's for damn sure.
I mean, she
Now, myself, I couldn't do that. That's too many days in a row
right.
where I'm walking in a 10, 12-foot space. I can't do that.
Yeah, she about
But
to be on that.
You gonna have to do that.
She about to be on that Andy Dufresne shit.
For real, like this is I mean, we're looking at the silver lining, obviously, but I mean, hey, you can bet your bottom dollar you're gonna be paid when this is over with. You know, you ain't even gonna play basketball no more. Fuck basketball.
Right,
Ain't gonna need it. All right, let's keep going here.
Was carried live on cable news networks in the U.S.
How much of this is because she is a 6'9", Black, lesbian American?
President Biden denounced the sentence just moments later. It's unacceptable, and I call on Russia to release her immediately.
Russia's like, yeah, sure thing. No problem, Mr. President. As soon as you stop with that $400 million fucking weapons shipment y'all are about to make. But damn, I mean, attaboy for CNN goes straight to all the racial fucking the racial and sexuality buttons
right,
for the reason why she got 9 years.
I mean, that's what they do. But what about all the cats in American prison right now because they got weed planted on them? How are they feeling?
Oh shit!
I mean, granted, I mean it's probably better than a fucking Russian gulag, but still, I mean,
depends on where you're at.
Some of these places are pretty fucking rough.
Yeah, there's some jungles in the U.S. prisons now.
You gotta watch your fucking cornhole, man.
There's some jungles. You gotta watch everything. You gotta watch every hole.
Yeah,
something might get a knife. You ain't never gonna even know it.
Watch your six, man. This is.
Somebody said Brie Larson gonna be playing Brittney Griner in the movie.
Wow.
That's wild. I mean, she's 6'9". Damn. I didn't know she was that tall.
I knew she was a big lady. I mean,
where'd she go to school at? She was Baylor.
Yeah.
She was to Baylor. Yeah.
Texas girl.
Hey man, her voice was a little deep.
I mean, that's a big windpipe, you know.
Who?
You
she's always been a good player. But
yeah, I remember when she went
being
to
gay is actually illegal in Russia. So why didn't they charge her with that too?
Probably a lesser penalty. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably a fine. Nah, they get prison time for that, I think.
Damn.
But no, but I mean it's Russia is just not the place you want to be arrested for fucking anything. I'd rather be arrested for some shit I'd rather be arrested for something in Afghanistan than be arrested in Russia.
Well, at least as a man, you'll probably
at least in Afghanistan, I'm a man. They're gonna be like, okay, you know, you sit in tea room, we keep you in tea room. You work with us, we sit in tea room, you give us 50,000 American, we let you go. Okay. Jeez. This is not the place. It's not.
She shouldn't have even been on trial. She's wrongfully detained. Absent that, we find the sentence reprehensible.
Russia expert Bill Browder says life in a penal colony is a nightmare.
The Russian prison is hell. It's absolute hell. They put nonviolent offenders together with violent offenders. There's rape, there's torture, there's unbelievable hardship.
We spoke to the sister of another American imprisoned in a Russian penal colony, teacher Mark Fogel.
It's almost like,
how the fuck did he get in there?
Dog, maybe it's just time to stop going over there, period.
This was 2018. Oh, he was there during the World Cup. See, you tripping.
Oh,
they
wow.
already knew you was there. You keep coming back. They're going to find a reason. Ooh, man, that sucks.
I'm surprised they didn't get buddy with a sombrero.
They can't do it. They can't do it to these people because they're tourists. He living here apparently.
Okay.
Colony. Teacher Mark Fogel.
It's almost like reliving one of the worst days of my life, when my brother was sentenced.
The U.S. has offered a prisoner swap, Brittney and former Marine Paul Whelan, for a notorious arms dealer. Fogel's family want him included in the deal.
Absolutely. If there's to be a prisoner swap, Mark Fogel needs to be part of that prisoner swap.
Griner was also
3 for 1 is going to be hard. Hey, they giving them the Merchant of Death guy, the guy from Lord of War. I mean, that'll get you 2. That'll get you 2. 3 means we got to go get somebody else out of another one of our torture chambers from somewhere else in the world.
The Black Ops sites.
You know what I mean? Like, we got to go to a Black Ops site to get the next person, and really that person's worth like 5.
Well,
but y'all only got 3.
And we're gonna have to like take a month to fucking like feed him and get him back up to playing weight.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get him back up to playing weight.
You can't give a fucking skeleton to these people.
Remember how North Korea did old boy? Shit, I was fucked up. He come back and a week later he dead.
Right.
Can't have our prisoners going back home and dying in a week. That could start something. Shit.
so fined 1 million rubles. That's just under $17,000.
Wait, what?
Yeah, what? They said $17,000 is 1 million rubles. They
Oh my God. Okay, maybe I will move over there.
You live like a king.
I want the whole Kremlin.
Go to Russia and become an oligarch with 20,000.
I want to live in the Kremlin. Mr. Putin, you need I'll give you till next week to get out of here.
You can either leave or I'll have you assassinated.
I'm buying this out from under you.
Holy crap. So that's Brittney Griner situation. Obviously, we're making jest, but obviously it's a shitty situation for her. And we got to wait to see what this prisoner swap looks like, because other than that, I'm not sure that Russia has any real incentive to do anything other than let her sit in prison. I mean, they really, they don't have any. She doesn't hold any value to them unless they can get a prisoner, and they're going to try and act like they hold all the chips so they can get as many as they want or get particular ones that they want from the U.S. But got to be careful when you go to other countries. That's what I mean. Just looking at the facts of her case, I don't know what they mean when they say unlawful detainment. That might have been there might be something technically as far as international travel is concerned or international law is concerned. But I mean, you're in Russia.
Is it like standard to make? I mean, yeah, I don't see how it's unlawful. I mean, the sentence is egregious, but I mean, if you do a crime,
sentence is absurd beyond anything I've ever seen.
If you do a crime somewhere, they're gonna prosecute you. I don't.
Well, you know what? Hold on.
Or do we send them home to get prosecuted?
There's a guy in Mississippi who just got life for fucking less than a ounce of weed.
What?
Yeah. There's a guy I mean, you can look it up. Chat, you can look it up. There is a guy who just got sentenced in Mississippi to life in prison for less than an ounce of weed. He got life.
How, Sway?
I'm not lying. This is for real.
Oh my
gosh.
But
we'll see how this plays out. I mean, I don't think that it's a situation that has a lot of clean escapes from it other than the prisoner swap. And I see somebody in the chat saying that there was a Russia caught a white American girl a girl with 19 grams of weed, and she got less than a year and a life fine. Yeah. Russia, I mean, they do what they want, and nothing's ever been consistent in that country as far as legality and civil rights don't really exist there. It's just all kind of we listen to what our Putin, senior chairman Putin says.
Oof.
So All right, moving on from that.
Rolling the dice each time, man.
Every
no
time.
telling.
Like, that's why I would never go to Russia.
He wakes up on the wrong side of the bed. 9 years.
Yep.
You know? You get some pussy the night before. 6 months.
So something else was going on this past weekend that obviously I would say it was actually was it Thursday? The Hall of Fame game?
Yeah, Thursday night.
Thursday night was the Hall of Fame game, NFL Hall of Fame game. First football being played since the Super Bowl back in February. And as tradition goes, that first preseason game, the one that's the week before anybody else plays, is the Hall of Fame game. And this year in the Hall of Fame, we got a representative from the Jacksonville, Old Duval. We got Tony Boselli making it into the Hall of Fame. This actually is something that the Jaguars have been pushing for a long time. They've been campaigning for him to get in to the Hall of Fame for a long time. I've met Tony Boselli a number of times while I was playing in Jacksonville. Tony's a cool guy. He's a cool cat. He's purely an offensive lineman. You can tell he's a little bit wonky in some ways. But good dude, had a phenomenal career in Jacksonville, a short one, but a pretty damn good one. And he was finally inducted. Him and Leroy Butler were the two headliners for this year's Hall of Fame induction group. But we do have a video here of him actually getting his jacket. I thought this was pretty neat. Something to, show a little bit of respect to the old Duval Jaguar himself. Tony Boselli, the first Jaguar player to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Also a couple other players that are that have pretty much, you know what? Let's just take a look at the video first. I don't want to sour this before we get to see him put on his golden jacket. But here is Tony Boselli being introduced by Mark Brunell, the old QB, or he's being given his jacket by Mark Brunell. Let's take a look at the video real quick, and then we'll talk about the Jaguars and their Hall of Fame situation.
Wait, that's Mark Brunell?
Yeah, one of the
fucker
greats.
did
Mark
not
Brunell.
age well.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. When he blew it up, it looked a little better.
Yeah,
I just saw all the gray. I was like, golly, I remember
Pro
watching
Football
him.
Hall of Famer.
Look, Tony can't move his arm behind his back. Can't get his arm behind his back. That's some old line shit right there, baby.
The shoulder don't work.
You can't put your arms behind your back. No.
My shoulder don't shoulder like it's supposed to.
My shoulder don't move like that no more.
They're gonna just have to give O-lineman robes. Or a fucking shawl or something.
Yeah, that's that old line right there, baby. You can't even get his arm behind. You can't even get your arm to like anywhere in the backside of your body. You can't even touch it. Look at him. It's like literally just lined up with the side of his hip.
Dang.
With the back. I mean, and you can. And I mean, look, and we're not making fun of him, but we're making fun of him because this is what all old linemen, this is what we all look like trying to put on.
I'm about to say, hey, that's what we got to look forward to.
That's because that's how my shit be like now. I'm like, God damn, come on. I'm like, come on. He's like, come on, push it. Come on, push my arm through it. Arm through it. Somebody supposed to be my fucking quarterback.
All those years I kept you clean, motherfucker. This is how you do me.
Oh. Video's a little shaky. There we go.
No, he can lift
it up
pretty
look.
high.
It's a good look.
Oh, giving the little salute there.
Pro Football Hall.
Boy, you knew his back was hurting while he was standing up there. But, look. I respect it. No disrespect to Tony Boselli. I know he's a great player for the Jaguars, first pick for the Jaguars and all that. But I think personally that even though he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, I will never argue against him being in it now that he, knowing that he was the kind of player he was, even though he had a shorter career. I mean, for guys like Fred Taylor and Jimmy Smith to not be in the Hall of Fame, And they had twice, if not three times the length of the career that he did almost. Well, no, with Fred Taylor, for sure. Fred Taylor had, 13 years? I played 2 seasons with Fred Taylor. That should tell you. I played 2 seasons with Fred Taylor at the end of his career in Jacksonville. Then he went to New England. So, this is a guy who played a long time. He's in the 10,000-yard rushing club, which that is an elite club for running backs. And Jimmy Smith, who I've also met personally a number of times. Jimmy Smith, he's been on the show. Matter of fact, Jimmy Smith has been on the show. Friend of the show. Jimmy Smith is one of only 3 wide receivers in the NFL history to have 9 seasons in a row of over 1,000 yards receiving, and I think over a certain number of touchdowns. I have to look it up. Let me see here. Jimmy Smith, NFL wide receiver records. Jimmy Smith had 12,287 yards receiving in his career.
My goodness.
And think about this. Jimmy Smith didn't even play football his first 3 years in the NFL. He was a first or second round pick to the Cowboys. It was supposed to be him and Michael Irvin.
Oh, damn.
They picked, if I'm not mistaken, let me make sure I get this right. But I'm pretty sure that Jimmy Smith was the receiver that they picked instead of picking Randy Moss.
Oh, wow.
But if you look at his career, he had as prolific a career as Randy Moss had. Almost. Not quite.
Let's not do that.
Let's not.
He's close.
I'm not reaching that far.
But among mortal wide receivers, pretty fucking awesome. I mean, there's obviously Jerry, Randy,
this guy's
Calvin
first
Johnson,
2 years,
T.O., and then regular human beings.
Yes. And if you, and look, in this era of podcasts, this era of live streaming, and just being more interactive with players who can tell you about back in their playing times, like us here. You look at some of these podcasts, like The Pivot, like I Am Athlete. A lot of these defensive backs from back in the 90s, early 2000s, some of the greatest ones that ever played, when you ask them who's one of the hardest matchups they've ever had, Jimmy Smith always comes up. Mm-hmm. He didn't play his first 3 years. He played, well, his first 2 years he didn't play. And then and that was 92, 93, he didn't play. 95, he was off. He missed the season with injury, an appendicitis complication.
Okay.
In 93. So he didn't even play football because he was injured for an entire season. He was not even in the sport, lost weight, everything. This guy comes back to Jacksonville, and his first year, I think he gets hurt, he only played in 4 games. He had 288 yards receiving in 4 games with 3 touchdowns, 13 yards a catch, which is pretty fucking good. From 96, he had 1,244, 7 touchdowns. 97, he had 1,300, 4 touchdowns. 98, he had 1,100, 1,180, 8 touchdowns. 99, he had 1,600.
Goodness gracious.
6 touchdowns. 2000, he had 1,200, 8 touchdowns. 2001, 1,300, 8 touchdowns. 2002, 1,027, 7 touchdowns. 2003, 805 with 4 touchdowns. 2004, 1,172 with 6 touchdowns. 2005, 1,023 with 6 touchdowns. 1 season as a starter, because really you don't count 95 because he only played 4 games. But in all these other seasons, he played like the whole season, mostly the whole season.
Yeah,
Shit,
the one
in
year he
96,
missed
he
4
only,
games.
in 96, he only played 9 games, and he had 1,244.
That is insane.
In 9 games. This dude
That's pretty
got
fucking special.
Pro Bowl 1, 2, 3, 4 times to the Pro Bowl. 2 second team All Pro 2 years out of those 4 as well. Comeback Player of the Year. Wait, what was this? Wait, no, what is this? What award is that? No, he got NFL Offensive Player of the Year. NFL well, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck that is. Never mind. But
a damn good player. He's
a damn good player. But as you can see, this is a guy who consistent greatness his entire career. One season where he missed 1,000. One season where he truly missed 1,000 with 800 yards. And he played in
12 games that year.
12 games out of 16. So this is pretty safe to say he would have had, he would have had 1,000 in that season too.
4 games to get 200 yards. I think he's going to get that.
So you're talking about in what? 10 years in Jacksonville, with the first year him only playing in 4 games. 8 out of 9 years after that, he had 1,000 yards receiving plus, and at least anywhere from between 4 to 8 touchdowns.
I mean, how often do you see that?
That's Pro Bowl skill. And then you're talking about next level, like your team might be going to the Super Bowl if you're over like 10, 12 touchdowns.
How many times do you see someone come out of kind of like the cellar, basically, like that? Like 3 years with basically no production, and then all of a sudden, fucking switch comes on, and now he's all everything. That's pretty rare.
Yeah, no, dude,
I'm racking my brain trying to think of somebody else like that.
I can't think. I mean, look, there's there's a record that he holds with. It's only him. I wouldn't say it's a record, but they're the only 3 wideouts. Ah, man, let me see. Let me see. I think it's like I can't remember exactly what this. It was about 1,000. It was about the receiving yards. And it's only him, Randy Moss, Jerry Rice, and Jimmy Smith are the only receivers to have 8+ seasons or more with 1,000 yards receiving in every season. They're the only ones to do that. So it's really
he needs to be in the conversation soon.
The thing is, he hasn't even really been in the conversation like that, though.
True.
That's the thing. That's what's so disrespectful is that he hasn't even been in the conversation. And neither has Fred. And I don't know. I mean, look, should it matter whether your team was like an all-world team or not? I mean, look, those teams that they had in when they were playing, those teams were going to the playoffs.
Yeah, those were good teams.
Those were good Jaguars teams. Like those were teams that were getting into the playoffs pretty regularly. The first 2 years that there was like the first 2 years, the first 2 or 3 years Jacksonville was even a team. They were in the AFC title game.
Right.
So they were one game away from the Super Bowl multiple times at the very beginning. So this is like not a franchise that just has been bad since their inception. I've been to the playoffs in Jacksonville.
I mean, you got to be a pretty decent team to get a fucking offensive lineman into the Hall of Fame.
You know what I mean? If your first Hall of Famer is an old lineman, that team had to have been he was the best player on that team? I don't think he was. But he was one of the best old linemen in the NFL. I mean, he was bodying Bruce Smith on a regular.
Yeah. Hell of a player.
So I mean that helps. But and again, Tony Boselli, I'm happy he got it. I'm happy an old lineman got it. I mean, I love. Yeah. I'm happy about that.
Disproportionate number of offensive linemen in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, old linemen don't get no love in the Hall of Fame unless they consider you the greatest of all time.
Yeah,
he's got to be the greatest offensive lineman of all time.
Right,
because there's no way to really measure outside of the Pro Bowl which
is a joke.
I don't know what the Pro Bowl meant back then, but it don't mean shit now. I can tell you that without even like.
How long has it even been
Pro
around?
Bowl means nothing.
I mean, some of the old heads, you know, they didn't have a Pro Bowl or anything to, you know, to hang their hat on as an O lineman.
You got a little bit of static.
All right, hold on. Let me try to.
Just a little bit. It might be my. I don't know if it's my headphones or not. It might be something just touching, but no. This is O linemen don't really get love when it comes to the Hall of Fame, unless there is distinctly something. Who was it? Who was the one cat who used to just get pissed off on the field? And this was back in like this was back in the heydays, back in the old days of the NFL, like the 70s, 60s.
Oh,
I forget this dude's name. Damn it. This guy, like, he was the coaches even said this guy was just mad all the time. He was just always mad. And I can't remember who he played for. Damn, I want to say the Bears.
I was going to guess like Conrad Dobler or somebody like that. Like just one of these old mean motherfuckers. That was like,
bruh, his face on because I was like doing a video on
legs and shit.
Yeah, like I was doing a video and this motherfucker, I was like editing the video and this dude, who did he play for? This dude looked mad as hell, just standing on the sideline with his helmet off. He was just like, just mad. And he got on the field and he just had the single bar coming over the front of his shit. And he just getting his stance. And he said he literally tried to break people in half. He was so mad on the field. I'm like, bruh, you probably did. It wasn't Dick Buckus. This was a black dude. Oh, I wish I could remember. That was because I was like editing up his footage and I was like, wow, this guy is a fucking asshole. He's like acting like a bull, getting in his stance, kicking his feet back.
Oh Lord. Yeah, these guys would not make it in today's game.
This is the kind of lineman that I aspire to be. That mad.
Yeah, I didn't have that in
ready
me.
to hurt somebody. But yeah, so it's just not something that linemen get a lot of love for. It's usually this is a skill position accolade sometimes, but there's also another player who has waited a long time, and another player who I honestly think, yeah, he should have been in earlier too, and that's Leroy Butler. Leroy Butler. This is a guy who was a great defender in Green Bay for many years. He's a playmaker, physical safety. Also could make plays on the ball, but he was there in those heyday years with Brett Favre and Antonio. What's his name? Antonio Freeman. Who else? Who was the what was the running back that Brett Favre had back then?
Oh damn, I can picture him. Dorsey Levens?
Ahmad Green.
Okay.
Dorsey Levens too. Ooh, Dorsey Levens. Hey, bro, Dorsey Levens was a beast.
They had a squad. I mean, obviously, you don't have.
They had.
I mean, probably the most storied franchise.
Green Bay had some good when Brett Favre was there. They had like great running backs who just would always get the yards. I'd be like, fuck, because I was a Niners fan, and I remember the Niners played them one year, and I'm just like, man, come on, like. It was Dorsey Levens. Dorsey Levens just could not be tackled. And I would watch them every time. When they play the Cowboys, same thing. Dorsey Levens can't be tackled. Something's wrong with these cats. They had Gilbert Brown. Gilbert Brown's big boy Gilbert. I wonder if he's still alive. He should be.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Fun dude to watch. They had some entertaining.
Hey man, they had some characters on that team. But Leroy Butler gets into the Hall of Fame as well. I think that's something that was long overdue. At least, I think that whoever's doing the busts look better now. Because his bust does kind of look like him.
That's solid. That's solid. It's not like the Cristiano Ronaldo joint.
Oh my God. The statue they put up for him somewhere, and it's like, yo, that don't look nothing like that cat. That might be an insult to this cat. You know what I mean?
No, these are pretty solid. I wonder, like, are there any guys in the hall with dreads? How does that come out in a bust? Somebody's got to.
Oh, it's gonna be just, you know how they're gonna do it. They're gonna make big sticks of big bronze sticks in the bust. But yeah, the bust for this year looks pretty good, because there were a couple years when I would see just the way that they did, like the way they did some cats busts, and I'd be like, yo, that don't look like him. And it's just like, where does the who's designing these? But
they do come and sit for these, right? Like,
I know, like, y'all are scanning their face, aren't you? Like something.
Maybe it's time to just have a robot do it.
It's it's good to see guys that I watched when I was a kid getting in. I mean, when I talk about Leroy Butler mainly, but yeah, like Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning's bust did not look anything like him. I'm like, yo. And you already aren't a very good-looking guy with that big-ass forehead.
I'm about to say, we ran out of material for the forehead.
we don't have enough. We didn't have enough bronze. We didn't make a big enough order.
It's a bronze shortage right now.
Ed Reed. You know what? Let's take a look at some of these busts. I'm going to see what the NFL, the Hall of Fame busts look like. We can all have a good laugh. Let's see. Bum. Let's take a look at the busts. Okay, 2017.
Okay.
Who is this? Morton Anderson. Morton Anderson was a beast. That one looks okay.
That's fair.
Okay, that one looks all right. That one looks all right.
How easy is a bald head?
Yeah, this shouldn't be that. You can't really fuck this one up, but okay, I'll take that one. Ken Easley. Okay. Jerry, they were like, if you don't get this right, your kids are going to disappear. How do you already get in the fucking Hall of Fame?
I mean, I would argue he's one of the most,
of course, you would,
important people in the history, like as far as influence and marketability go, of getting the league where it is today. I'd say he's probably like top 5.
Yeah, I want to
anybody.
That.
Maybe even top 3.
I don't hate him, but he's poisonous. That's why the Cowboys ain't shit no more, because of him.
Yeah, I mean,
he might be important. He might be big and important for getting the NFL rolling, but his team has not seen a Super Bowl. They haven't even sniffed a conference championship game since '95.
I mean, I don't think we've been past the second round.
Y'all only been out of the wild card once in 25, 30 years.
There's a
and
season.
It's his fault.
There's a season for everything, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Jason Taylor. That one looks like him. Okay, so maybe these aren't as bad as I thought they were, because I was really, he do look like Xerxes. I was thinking this one is not.
I think
all right. Okay, here we go.
They need to look straight on. I think if it looks
straight on,
it'd look a little different, because he's like looking up in the bust.
Honestly, now that I think about it, this one's not that accurate, because look at his brow.
Yeah, they got to make him like look down or something in the bust. Ooh, wow, he's not a.
Is this the only one? 2017? Oh, you fuckers! I'm not about to go digging through this. All right. Well, maybe our point wasn't so great there, but
yeah, these are actually.
You know what? I do want to see Peyton Manning's bust, though. We have to see that. Oh well, that's okay. Somebody photoshopped that one. Hold on, look at this. Oh my God. How they gonna do Peyton like that? Oh my goodness, how they gonna do Peyton like that? Look at this. Whoops. Oh, Lord.
God, dog.
Golly.
Oh, that's too
Look
funny.
at that forehead.
That is too funny.
Ooh, look at this Ronaldo one. Ooh. Yeah, I don't think this really. I mean, it doesn't look like him.
It's got to be a difficult.
No, that doesn't look like him.
It's got to be a difficult profession to master.
Here we go. We got some more here.
I mean, it's not that great.
Who's that? Tim Brown? Champ Bailey. His head looks a little too big here. Let's see who else. All right, there's LT. I don't know. I don't think that looks like him right there. It don't look that much like him.
Yeah, I mean, this is just. I mean, tough to
look at this. Look at this piece.
Tough
of
to
shit.
master. Wow.
Yeah, it looks drunk.
Wait, he's not stealing any money. What's going on?
Bus looks drunk on power from the money he stole from welfare recipients. John Lynch. Okay, that looks like John Lynch. All right, maybe not as bad as one thinks. Maybe it's because when you're watching it live, it just something looks different about watching it, I guess. Something. All right, let's move on here. So, Hall of Fame done and sealed. And the Jags lost in the game against the Raiders. Side note. But moving on from that, this is a story actually that I really, this is a story I took some interest in. I saw it this morning. And honestly, you know, everybody loves this guy. I love Mike Tyson. You love Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is an icon of American pop culture. You know, this is a guy who used to be the bad boy of boxing. And, you know, even with him going to prison, even with, you know, a lot of his antics in the ring, outside of the ring, you know, Mike Tyson in his older age has become like the wise old uncle. You know what I mean? And a lot of that has to do with, you know, just a kind of a life revival and a career revival. I mean, The Hangover, seeing him in The Hangover, that reintroduced Mike Tyson to to society. And it's been, you know, it's been nothing but good vibes and good karma ever since for him.
Yeah, he's had a hell of a redemption.
It's the redemption arc like none other. And he is one of the most beloved people in sports. But you don't want to see old Mike. You don't want old Mike to come out. You don't ever want to see old Mike come out. Because he can get back in shape in no time and then come whoop somebody's ass for no reason.
Yep.
He's and look, there's like this is one of the most intimidating individuals in the world. Like Mike Tyson, I mean, I can only imagine standing next to him, thinking I could whoop him.
Wait, look at this little dude. And next thing you know,
next thing you know, you woke up in the ICU. Next thing you know, you waking up.
I got no more ribs.
Waking up, like, what the hell happened?
I can't chew. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Trying to talk. Your shit's wired.
My
Your
jaw's wired,
buddy. Your jaw's wired, buddy. You know. But I think that everybody can agree that Mike Tyson's arc and his just coming back and being you know, just a very likable figure in pop culture and in the not only in the boxing world but also in pop culture and in just the world around, because everybody knows who he is. You know who Mike Tyson is. Everyone does. Everyone. But Mike Tyson has beef right now with Hulu, with the streaming service owned by Disney. And this is a tweet that he put out this morning talking about this, and you know, and I really hate to see somebody as big as this, you know, have to come out and talk about this because a corporation couldn't respect that. You know, his story is not yours to tell without him. And this is what Mike Tyson is very upset about. He says, Hulu tried to desperately pay my brother, Dana White, millions without offering me $1 to promote their slave master takeover story about my life. He turned it down because he honors friendship and treating people with dignity. I'll never forget what he did for me, just like, okay.
Oh, at the bottom.
Just like I'll never forget what Hulu stole from me.
Damn.
So, you know, I'm curious as to how the legality of this plays out, because does a corporation, or does, you know, in this situation we're talking about Hulu, does Hulu have the ability to legally make a movie about a person who's still alive without them giving you the green light and without, you know, there being some kind of contract as to what their compensation would be for something like that? But then I think back to a conversation I had with an old teammate, Eugene Monroe, shout out Eugene, where he had talked to Michael Orr. Michael Orr didn't get paid for The Blind Side, not a dime.
Oh, wow.
And it was a story about his life. So, you know, when he says in this tweet, in this message, that they tried to pay Dana White millions to promote it without even giving him $1, then yeah, I think he's kind of accurate here.
Wait a second. So is it just like old clips of him? How do you make a movie?
We can pull up. I'll pull up a little bit of the trailer.
Is it out?
I'll tell you what.
I'm not.
I'll tell you what. This shit the trailer looks good. The trailer looks good.
I mean, Hulu got all these commercials about paying motherfuckers left and right, all this big money and shit. You know, why, you know, throw Mike a bag. I mean, can you imagine the commercial he could have done for them?
I mean, can you imagine making a movie about him without actually like telling him and?
I mean, can you imagine pissing Mike Tyson
offering
off?
him money, like, and asking him to come help? Well, there's even more drama in this, because unknowingly, and Hulu. I mean, look, this is starting to get a little bit shady here, because not only, before we look at the trailer, not only did Hulu make the movie, they also had the WBC provide them with the actual title belts. And this is somebody who is personally friends with Mike Tyson, Mauricio Solomon. Yeah, that was one of his. He worked. Yeah, he's. Yeah, I think if I remember, I think he was like worked with. He was either a trainer with Mike or yeah, something like that. But it says here, a fighter who was like a son to my father. He's a son of some. Who's? I can't remember. Anyways. If you know in the chat, let me know who his father is here. I know Solomon. I've heard that name before. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about his original trainer. I forget his name too, Gus Oddman or something like that. But it says here, a fighter who was like a son to my father is Mike Tyson. I just spoke to him. I'm so upset to learn that his upcoming series were produced without his involvement and consent. The WBC boxing was misled by Hulu, and we provided belts for production. Mike Tyson is a legend. Respect. So, you know, apparently they misled the WBC, and they provided them with the real belts for the movie. And I mean, that's like slap in the face, slap in the face, slap in the face. You know, because you're not respecting like the actual person you're making a movie about or making a series about. He's alive.
Right.
Like, what are you doing?
So, I mean, did they even approach him to be in it? I mean, this is
I'm not sure.
Bizarre.
I'm not sure.
It's one thing if like you approach him and he's like, you know, I need more money. or just turns you down and you just do it.
Yeah,
without him.
but even then, it still feels weird to make it.
Yeah,
to make the movie without the person even being involved in any way.
And this
is
like a guy I want upset with me. Like, even if it is in a professional,
what I mean?
Non-fighting environment, I don't want Mike Tyson mad at me. I might see that motherfucker one day.
Yeah, no, you 100%. If you see him in the streets, you're gonna be scared. But here is the trailer. This is Mike, the official trailer from Hulu. Look, man, this trailer, this shit is good. I ain't gonna front. I was like, woo!
Who am I? People just see an animal. They call me a savage. I'm the most vicious, ruthless champion that's ever been. No one can match me. My style.
Trevante Rhodes, UT alum.
Oh, word.
Yeah, he ran track at UT.
So that's just a piece of it, because I don't want to get copyright claim, but that's a little bit of the trailer itself. It looks good. It looks high production value. It looks like it's going to be a good series, but I'm not watching the shit because I was going to watch it. I actually got a Hulu subscription because I wanted to watch Prey, the new Predator movie. Great movie. Enjoyed it very much so. But I'm not going to watch this just out of respect for Mike Tyson, because, again, when they take your identity from you, when they take everything about you and they create their own product that they're going to make money off of and that you're going to see none of, I'm not going to back that. I'm going to cancel my Hulu subscription as well, just so these motherfuckers know. Because I still got 3 more days before that 7-day trial.
Also,
and we ain't renewing that shit, cuz.
Why would they try to pay Dana White? What's his involvement?
They're trying to pay Dana White to promote it during UFC events.
Okay, he's not a UFC fighter, first of all.
Well, he's... he
doesn't
own the UFC,
is adjacent.
but he's like the CEO of UFC now.
Right, but I'm saying I'm saying Mike wasn't a UFC fighter.
Yeah, he wasn't, but it's combat sports.
So it's
and they probably went to somebody like Oscar De La Hoya to ask him to promote it too.
Goodness
so gracious. It's a fucked up business situation, and that's what that's what these corporations will do to your ass. They don't give a damn about you. They give a damn about that money. And I don't know like what the legality of this is. And I probably should have did a little bit more research on this one to find out what there was.
By Wednesday, we'll know.
Yeah, by Wednesday, maybe I'll give you an update about this. But this is definitely a messed up situation, in my opinion, because you're taking something from somebody that you don't have no right to.
Yeah,
and you're monetizing it, and you're not even giving them none of the money. Of course, I expect to hear by Wednesday
that
Hulu has offered him a deal, because if they haven't,
if they haven't, there's probably going to be some suits coming.
There has to be a lawsuit coming. There has to be.
And if you get some facts wrong, now you're opening yourself up.
Libel, defamation.
There you go. That did not happen like that. How would I know? I'm fucking Mike Tyson.
Because I am him. I'm the dude playing the dude disguised as another dude.
I know who I am.
But shout out to Mike Tyson. His Hot Boxing with Tyson. He has the Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson podcast. My old teammate, Eben Britton. Why am I forgetting? Should have hit that ball before I came up.
You're getting old, man. We ain't no spring chickens.
Britton. Eben, shout out to Eben. He worked on Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson. He was the co-host with Mike Tyson for the first season. So shout out to him. But but again, it's been great to watch Mike Tyson's arc just get better and better and better. So I'd hate to see it get a speed bump put in it with these assholes at Hulu trying to squeeze them for his likeness. And I mean, they're using his likeness, his name, his image, his likeness.
Only a
Man, y'all got to pay me. What you doing?
Right. Matter of fact, everyone, I'm gonna find whoever watched this movie, and I'm pulling up on you. Mike
Whoever's
Tyson
watching this movie, and you gonna get you get
Mike
a lawsuit.
Mike Tyson just gonna show up at your door.
I heard you watching my new show.
How you want to handle this?
Well, it ain't mine.
How you want to handle this?
You know what I mean? Hey, man, I already canceled the subscription, Mike. I'm sorry.
Give you
It's good, though. It's a good show. It's really a good show.
Give you a quick 2-piece, or you can cancel that shit.
For real. I'm canceling the fuck out of that.
Hell yeah, fuck Hulu.
But we'll see what happens there with Mike Tyson. I hope it gets resolved quickly. Hulu should be looking to resolve this quickly. They'd be fools if they're not. Because last thing you want is the PR nightmare that would be behind that. Nobody would watch it. Nobody would watch it. And I believe that, because I believe that the crowd that would watch it is going to have to subscribe to Hulu to get it. Which, when I saw the trailer, I was on board. That's before I found out y'all ain't pay Mike for it. Now, I don't give a fuck about that show.
That shit
and I
could win.
refuse to watch it.
That shit could win a fucking Oscar. I ain't watching it.
It could win an Oscar, an Emmy, a Tony. I don't give a damn. I ain't watching it. But moving on, and I think this story here is really this is a story that I'm interested to find out some details about, because I don't necessarily know why this has played out the way it has. And I mean, I know what it has to do with, but I think that it'll be good to, get a little bit more context with this. The OU football program is seeing a little bit of drama here as of late, with one of their coaches resigning. Now, let me pull this up real quick. Okay, so, and I'm sure that there is, let me see. Hold on. Okay, here we go. All right, so here we have Oklahoma coach Brent Venables says that Cale Gundy used racially charged word multiple times prior to resignation. Jesus Christ.
Oh, wow.
Says here, a day after wide receivers coach Cale Gundy resigned from the program, and let me click on this link because I'm trying to find out. Just give me the story real quick. Jesus. Says here, longtime Oklahoma wide receivers coach Cale Gundy resigned on Sunday night in the wake of what he described as an incident during a team film session. God damn. Gundy, who has been with the program since '99, said in a lengthy statement that he accidentally read one particular word that I should never, under any circumstance, have uttered during a film session last week. And here's a quote from him, from Coach. He says, last week during a film session, I always want to do like a country accent when I read Coach's quotes.
I mean, in Oklahoma, that's about right.
He said, I instructed my players to take notes, Gundy said in the statement. In the part, I noticed the player was distracted and picked up his iPad and read aloud the words that were written on his screen. The words displayed had nothing to do with football. One particular word that I should never, under any circumstance, have uttered was displayed on the screen. In that moment, I did not realize what I was reading, and as soon as I did, I was horrified. I want to be very clear, the words that I read aloud from the screen were not my words. What I said was not malicious. It was not even intentional, and still, I'm mature enough to know that the word I said was shameful and hurtful, no matter my intentions.
Okay.
Okay. What'd you say?
I think we all know what he said. I think we all know what he said.
What'd you say?
You got to read the room, buddy. You got to read the room.
And here's his Instagram post. His Twitter post detailing the same thing. I guess this was his resignation tweet. I have that pulled up here as well. We'll look at that in a second. It says, it's unknown what word Gundy is talking about specifically.
Okay.
Or whose iPad he said he picked up. Other details surrounding the alleged incident are not yet known. The Oklahoma coach, Brett Venables, has confirmed Monday that the word in question was racially charged. Let's see. Gundy. Oh, boy, that's too much. So Gundy said that while he didn't mean to say the word, he recognizes that he has to take responsibility and still resign. Okay, I think we can kind of guess what the word is here. We can guess that he said the N word. I mean, I think that's pretty safe.
We know how young kids talk.
We knew that. We knew that though.
Yeah.
We all knew that. We knew that's what he said. Now, I'm gonna give you my thoughts on this here in a second. Because there's one more thing here. There's one more thing here that we need to look at to provide a little bit more context. And that is coming from the head coach. So it says here, and this is a statement. Okay, let's pull this up. This is a statement from the head coach. Let's read it. It says here, Monday's statement from head football coach Brent Venables. As painful as it is to be dealing with Coach Gundy resigning from the program, it doesn't touch the experience of pain felt by a room full of young men I'm charged to protect, lead, and love. There are a few things I would like to address. Coach Gundy resigned from the program because he knows what he did was wrong. He chose to read aloud to his players not once but multiple times a racially charged word that is objectionable to everyone and does not reflect the attitude and values of our university or our football program. This is not acceptable, period. Coach Gundy did the right thing by resigning. He knows our goals for excellence and that coaches have special responsibilities to set an example. He also knows that while he will always be a part of our OU family, that his words affected many of us and did not represent the principles of our university. Again, his resignation was the right thing to do, and we will move forward positively. Okay. So, when I read this,
multiple times kind of jumps out at me.
Multiple times jumps out.
I could have maybe been like,
because that means you're trying to reiterate something.
Yeah, if it's just like I'm reading real fast, and oh shit.
But at the same time, I don't think he should have resigned for this. I think he should have been suspended for maybe the first game of the season. Because, I believe that when something like this happens, unless you can prove otherwise, and it's being the first time that this coach has shown anything like this, you don't know that he has a history of any kind of animosity towards any particular group of people or not, but there's nothing that tells you that. Nothing that shows me that this guy, meant to harm when he did this.
Sure.
So I would not take your resignation. I will suspend you for a game. And now you're going to learn that lesson that, keep your hands off people's shit, even if you're the coach. Because what you were trying to do was embarrass this kid. Basically. You were trying to embarrass him.
Actually,
I
remember this guy. He recruited me.
Gundy recruited you?
I mean, many moons ago, obviously. But yeah, I mean, we were probably talking like once or twice a week at one point. I thought he was. I mean, I don't think this reflects what I thought of him.
He said,
time.
"Good thing I didn't go to fucking OU."
I mean, Lord knows if I would have ended up there, it could have been, getting called all types of shit. But I do remember he told me, "Why the fuck would you go to Texas? You're never gonna play there." Joke's on you.
Yeah. So look, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's because we know he said the N-word. We know he said it multiple times. He was trying to embarrass his kid. He's trying to probably talk like he was hood. I mean, you can picture the scenario as it's happening in the film room. If you really, if you've been in these situations before.
Turns his visor backwards.
Okay, I'm gonna read what you're talking about here now. What you talking about here now? What's up, my nigga?
Oh no.
Like, it was stupid for him to do that. That's just because, look, you really look, you think that you that cool with these players that they're gonna let that slide and you're not the head coach ain't gonna hear about this?
Never.
Not never. So why are you gonna do that? Why would you read something like that knowing? Now, come on, man. Ain't no excuse for reading it because
if you pick it up,
see the word before you say it.
Exactly. Even if it's your first time, skimming through something, you know what you're saying. It's not like, oh, I gotta watch out. There's a couple landmines in here. I gotta, dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. Get around this shit. Like, there might not have been a malicious intent, but you know better.
Yeah, like you literally, there is no reason for you to read that. You know that there was no reason for you to read that. You know you were doing it to make a point that we shouldn't have his personal shit out during a meeting when you're watching film, and you wanted to embarrass him. So, in and of that right there, you set yourself up for this fail. Because once you start reading that and talking about it, and now you got their ears perked up because you just said the shit that you don't need to be saying, like, and it's certainly not worth saying in that environment where you're trying to watch football and talk about football. You set yourself up, and now, you want to resign because you think that's noble, and it is noble for him to resign. It makes sense that, you would want, because you've embarrassed yourself so much that you need to, like, step aside. But no, I'm going to let you sit through that embarrassment. I'm going to let you feel that pain and that shame from saying it for the rest of this season. You're going to feel that way because you're going to get weird looks now. But you will be forgiven. All will be good. All will be fine in due time. But you're not leaving. I'm not letting you off the ship for making this mistake. You're going to stay on the ship and you're going to clean the floors.
True.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there's not really,
I'm gonna keep you here.
No chance for rehabilitation if you just quit.
Yeah, I'm not letting you off this shit. I'm going to keep you here. You're going to pay back your debt to the team that you hurt by continuing to coach.
Oh, we getting that pound of flesh.
You're going to get that pound of flesh. You're going to be suspended for a game. You're going to lose one game's pay, and you're going to fucking come back and you're going to coach, and you're going to coach better than you ever coached in your goddamn life, or you ain't going to be here next year. I'm not letting you off the hook so you can go get hired by our division rival.
Because you know Sarkisian calling them right now.
Because they don't give a fuck they don't give a fuck what happened here.
Hey,
as long as they get another thing to add to their recruiting ability, boom.
Hey, keep your mouth shut and we'll hire tomorrow.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And he's going to be making the money anyways. No, it's not. That's not how you properly provide like a punitive but productive measure to an employee or to a teammate, and allow them to learn from it. To actually give them a chance to grow from it. You have to actually suffer through it. And he ain't suffering if he gets to go home and he don't have no cameras in his face and he ain't got no people asking him questions. He gets to ignore it and run away from it. That's what this motherfucker's letting him do. And that's what my problem is.
He probably won't see another black person the rest of the year now.
No, he won't. This motherfucker ain't gonna get out of his car when he goes to get food. He ain't gonna do nothing where he has to run into black folks.
It's Norman, Oklahoma. Outside the football team,
ain't nothing there but dust and crops.
You might see five brothers, that's not on any type of squad in Oklahoma.
So, when I see it, I'm like, when I see this apology, and let me pull up the apology letter that he put out. Because this is what, look at this, bro. Like, this is a coach. Like, why are you even doing this? What is this? You should have released a statement through the school the same way that they released a statement and letting them know why you resigned. But you want to go on social media and he wants to get some backing from the general public. He wants people to, coddle his ego a little bit. But that's the problem, is that he's not really being held accountable. Being held accountable takes more than just like you're allowing him to leave on his own terms. No, that's not how this shit works. If you really want, if you're really looking for, some kind of penance, some kind of comeuppance, then he needs to sit through the whole season and do his job this whole season while apologizing and making sure that he corrects his behavior and is a productive member of the program moving forward. Like, there's no way around that. Like, you got to be that. If you're a good coach, that's what you're doing to this guy. You're not letting him out the door. You just saved him a lot of stress, letting him out the door. So, I don't really, I don't want to read this because it's the same thing we've already seen.
It's just word salad.
It's going to be a bunch of word salad. Like, I'm just
really
looking at it. All of this is right here about the whole iPad stuff that we just read. But it's not. Let's just see what the comments say. Pretty sure he said the N-word. Boy, the internet don't lose. Look, I don't know. I don't want to speak to what kind of man this guy is because this is no way to identify what kind of man he is. The simple fact that he read off the N-word a couple. Well, he might be a dick, a little bit of a dick. We know that.
Keep going back to it.
He went back to it. He said it more than once. So he might be a little bit of a dick in the moment because you were mad because he wasn't paying attention to the film room, which I can let that pass this one time. Because,
shout out to Kyler Murray. Not paying attention to your film.
Yeah. Shout out to Kyler Murray and them OU boys. None of them like watching film.
Oh, man.
None of them like watching no film. But I think that, again, if he's truly sorry, then he will rededicate himself to the job that he's been hired for, and he will do the job better than he's done it. He'll take his suspension and his fine, and he'll do his job. Him resigning is a fucking coward's way out. He wants out. He doesn't want to face what he's done.
Gotta face that music, son.
And that is where my problem is. And that's where, again, this isn't a good head coach, in my opinion, if he allows this to be handled the way that he is. Because all he's done is get that noise out of his room, but he hasn't quieted that noise. That noise is going to be there for another team to deal with at some point in the future, potentially, in another way, maybe. But, I don't want to judge him off of that because it hasn't happened. But, tends to work out that way. But
also,
that
this
for me,
is a first-year head coach.
he's trying to.
He might be scared to ruffle too many feathers.
This guy's a long-time coach. I'm pretty sure
the
others were ruffled.
Yeah, he's Dabo's guy. He's fucking a made man in college football.
Yeah, he's a made man.
Got Natty's under his belt.
So, this is again, I think this is a bit of an overreaction on both sides, the coach and the coach, the head coach and the position coach, their coordinator, whatever he was. I think that's just an overreaction. He was trying to be cute. It didn't work. It's a bad look. Look, white folks, listen, you are rolling the fucking dice anytime you think about saying it.
He lucky
even if it's your homie.
Yeah, he lucky he didn't get knocked out. Honestly,
you are rolling the dice.
And I get how a coach might think because locker room culture is a lot different.
Yeah,
you can say a lot of crazy shit to people.
Locker room culture is different.
You can say a lot of crazy shit to people, but you can't say that.
Yes, but you can't say that. Locker room culture is different, even between and it's because there's different levels of it. The players to players is one way. Players to coaches is another way. Coaches to coaches is another way. All those are three different kinds of cultures in one building that interact with each other also. So even with all of that, there's one word that can bring all those cultures into direct conflict. And we know what that word is. So You know, if there is any doubt about what, you know, how quickly things can spiral, this is a perfect cautionary tale of that, because this coach didn't think 24 hours ago that this shit was going to end up like this. But here we are. But again, I wouldn't have let him off. I would have made him stay with the team. I wouldn't have accepted no resignation. I'd have been like, no. You ain't getting out of this shit, motherfucker. Nah. I got some plans for you. But you know, that's just how I see it. You know, somebody says Richie Incognito. Look, let me tell you something. Richie Incognito, that motherfucker has got some screws loose, because his own teammates, they're not cool with that. But he's Richie Incognito. There's a little bit, you know, and the thing with him is that he came into situations where he was the oldest guy a lot of times. So, or he was the older guy a lot of times. So he would try to throw his weight around on cats. I know if I ever played with that cat, and I heard, because I mean, I've heard stories of him saying the N-word to players on the field.
Oh, hell. Nope.
I'm like, look, you're going to get your ass whooped by me and by that defender.
Right. You can go ahead and throw the flag now.
We all get kicked out this bitch tonight.
About to be some furniture moving in this motherfucker.
But I've heard stories of that. I've heard stories. I don't know. You know, I have not had the chance to I haven't had the chance to actually, I never had a chance to verify them through players that played with him, but I've heard it from players who play against him that he drops the N-bomb and the O-lineman didn't do nothing about it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to say to that, but the coach in this situation, clearly he knew better. It wasn't in the heat. I mean, heat of the moment. You got kids. You're dealing with 18, 19, 20-year-olds. You know, you got to be able to control yourself a little bit better. You got to have a little bit more composure, coach. Can't just be letting off at the, bless you. Can't just be letting off at the lip just because somebody ain't watching the film the way you want them to watch it. Like, you can't just go into his shit. That's what happens when you get nosy.
Right.
Perfect example. You get nosy, you know, let yourself up.
Man, fuck Coach Gundy. Suck my dick.
Suck my dick, you bitch ass nigga. And then he says it right back to you. And he's like, oh, gotcha.
Like, now, if I come here tomorrow and I'm first on the depth chart, this all goes away.
This all goes away. I better be at the top of the depth chart tomorrow looking at him dead in his face.
Balls in your court.
But we'll see. I mean, I guess that's pretty much the end of it to that story, because I mean, there's nothing
nowhere else for it to go.
Yeah, there's nowhere else for that to go. So that's going to be a done data.
I guess we'll see if somebody hires him on to be a
We'll hear about him getting hired.
Because Nick Saban's going to hire him as a consultant.
And then the next year he'll be the O coordinator.
He's going to go to the Nick Saban rehabilitation school for coaches that fucked up.
Rehab University.
You served 2 years for me. Hey, I'll stamp your ticket. Go anywhere you want as an OC.
Anywhere you want. Name your price. Head coach, athletic director, whatever you want, buddy. We got you. Ooh, capitalism is great. Oh man, but that is going to be it. That's going to be it for us tonight. We do appreciate everybody for being in here with us. We had a nice weekend to kind of sit back and enjoy this hot and humid wasteland that this city's becoming because of the heat.
Oh God!
But Mondays are always good time to re-energize and get back in the field talking with you guys. We enjoy it. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already done so. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Like I've said before, we got some big things coming up for the channel. We'll be announcing that soon. And, think it's really going to be something you guys are going to enjoy. But that is going to be it here for us. Me and my co-host here, Justin Blaylock. This is Lineman Life. And we will catch you all on the next one. Peace.
Peace.